welcome to Sensibly Cynical. My name is Sean, and unfortunately, for the 39th episode, Frank is with me again.
You should say, thank the fucking Lord, Frank is with me again.
Oh, excuse me, Frank Jag. Does that make you feel better?
I mean, you won't call me God, so I guess I'll deal with Frank Jag.
Okay, this is today's World 9, so, there's a lot to get to in the news. The World Cup, we got Donald Trump.
Well, let's talk about your favorite topic, it seems, and that's that Space Force bullshit.
Yeah, the Space Force. I was going to leave that for last, but we can go ahead and start
I gotta say, I support almost everything Donald Trump does because he's a fucking genius.
Yeah,
but
like I've said every episode, he's your favorite.
But I gotta tell you, this Space Force thing, it's very ill-advised. I think it's a bad idea.
Oh, really?
I do, because, the Air Force already has a branch that deals with space, and some other...
You kind of threw me off with that one. I thought you'd be all about it.
Some other military divisions have things that deal with space, and I don't think we're at a place where we need a full-on military unit based on just space, and, I read about it, and it is going to throw off the funding for all the different military units. Other military units are going to get less funding for space.
Right.
And there's no real reason for it right now. I mean, granted, the Pentagon has also got write-ups on what to do in a zombie apocalypse. So obviously, the Space Force is something that we should put obviously money forward to do intelligence on in case we go on a whole on Return of the Jedi out there in space. But the whole thing is, I don't think we're at the point where we need a full unit dedicated to it, because I don't think there's anything really at this point to worry about. I think it's kind of like, now people are gonna hate on me for saying this, but Reagan, his whole Star Wars thing, that was crazy and a waste of money too. Reagan spent more money than any other president when he did that, and I think the Space Force thing isn't any better. I think it's just a waste of money.
Yeah, I wouldn't say waste of money. Here's what I think about it is, I'm not a big fan on it either, but I kind of see where he's come from. But it's not going to work, because what he's trying to do is he's trying to monopolize the space. Like, it's so ridiculous that it's probably not even like credible. I mean, this is what this guy wants to do. This guy wants to like monopolize outer space, which is ridiculous considering that Russia dominated the industry for years, and they were one of the first ones with the Space Force, and they still do, back in the day with Sputnik and everything, so the bottom line is he wants to monopolize this when it's a terrible idea, because this is the one thing. I know he doesn't like working with a lot of other countries on things sometimes, but this is the one area where, it is really smart to continue what we're doing with, the space station and make this a group effort with other countries.
No, I don't think it's necessarily being a group effort.
I think it is.
And I'm all good for America going off on its own because we're better than everybody else. But the whole thing about it is, I don't think...
You don't think Russia has... Russia's always been a leader in this kind of thing.
We're America.
No, I'm not saying that.
The only time people are better at us than things is when we don't care enough to be better than them. I mean, we're better if we want to be better. That's all there is to it. But the moral of the story is, the thing about the Space Force thing is just, it's a waste of money, because honestly, I hate to say it, because like I said, you can look up, Sean, you can just look up 30 inches, look up, and you can see.
Oh, yeah.
I clearly support the president. But
MAGA, Trump, Pence,
yeah, but I think he, right now,
you.
I think he's really just trying to, be too much like Reagan, and I don't think that's always a smart thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Reagan was perfect.
Well, it's just it'll be an interesting thing how much he pushes the Air Force to have this included. Obviously, the Air Force is against making this like an official branch, but what should be interesting is if he can even pull any strings before his term is over. But if he gets reelected, then maybe he'll make an effort to make this like, one of his things.
This is Donald Trump. He's going to make an effort regardless.
No, but what I'm saying is maybe he'll make it like part of his election. One of his thing. But
I don't think it's strong enough thing, because there's too many opponents of it, because we already have works in other branches of the military.
Yeah, but he had
that are related to this this
Yeah, but
issue.
we
I
have
don't think
people like you, Frank, that are believing everything you say. I'm just kidding.
that's not true.
I'm just kidding.
No one's gonna go for this because it's too much.
I was just
It's
kidding.
too much leverage. You know what I mean? It's too much leverage for not enough promised result.
All right, so
But speaking about
Did you
things
wanna
that
talk
America isn't the best at,
Yeah.
mainly because we don't want to be.
well,
Let's talk about the original homosexual orgy. We
Wait.
call it the World Cup.
I don't agree with that statement, but we did not qualify for the World Cup because we did not get out of the CONCACAF qualifying.
Right, we lost to Trinidad and Tobago.
We lost to Trinidad and Tobago when all we needed to do was win or draw. And then like the three other options that needed to happen didn't. Panama got in and Panama got killed. Panama got in, Frank, and we didn't. I mean, that just says it all.
Well, I mean, this year's World Cup's obviously not regular. I mean, Germany won it last time around.
Yeah.
They were the favorite again this time around. They didn't even they make it out of group stage. We got fucking Japan in the round of 16. I mean, fucking Asia. Did they even have soccer there?
Wait, did Japan win against Belgium?
No, they lost, but it's irrelevant. They made it to the round of 16. I mean, obviously they lost, but I mean, Asia. Did anyone even know they knew what soccer was in Asia?
Yeah.
Or football?
I mean, at least we still got Brazil.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it's times like the World Cup that I always say things like, "Can you imagine if America gave a fuck about soccer? Like, can you imagine J.J. Watt as a goaltender?
Yeah, no,
Can you imagine if we had our best athletes
Yeah.
like other countries do?
No.
Playing soccer, like J.J. Watt in the goal. Who the fuck's gonna score on him?
Yeah.
That motherfucker played goalie for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And nobody ever.
If we actually cared about
if
football.
we gave a shit.
Yeah.
You got these players in the NFL like these really fast NFL players. Like if they played soccer, like they'd be unstoppable.
What's
It's
funny
amazing.
is Lionel Messi, considered one of the greatest players in the world. He didn't even make it out of the round of 16 with Argentina.
Yeah, but
And then you got France and
see,
we'll see what they do. They're always talented, but they don't. Sometimes they fail. Like since they won the World Cup back in the day, they've always kind of choked. But now it looks like France draws opening up for them if they can get by Uruguay.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you look back at Argentina, a few years ago we were looking at Messi by himself bringing Argentina all the way to the finals, and and it's like if you watch it,
Portugal's out too with Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Right.
They're out too.
Ronaldo's an idiot. Didn't he made a freaking
Ronaldo is really good.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah, I understand that.
On the level with Pele all time.
Okay, but Ronaldo also made a freaking museum dedicated to himself.
Yeah,
he's
also
weirdo.
one of the greatest soccer players or football players of all time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but back to Messi, man. I mean, the whole
and him too.
The whole thing about Messi is everyone was watching him. You know what I mean?
He did get a goal. He did get a couple goals.
Yeah, but I mean, like the whole team can't just sit there and watch you. They have to participate.
Yeah.
You can't just win by yourself, and that's the thing with Argentina now. I mean, for so long they've required Messi to do everything, and he's just
all these players.
31. Someone else has to play.
It's kind of like how
they got showed up by a 19-year-old in France.
Right. It's kind of like how some of these countries. I would compare the World Cup to the Olympics. To kind of the Olympics in basketball because the Premier League. You're obviously familiar with the Premier League, right? With like Manchester United and everything. All these. It's basically whoever has the most players in the Premier League win these things. So it's kind of similar to like whoever has the most NBA players. It's kind of similar. I think it's just maybe that's a good. I'm trying to make a comparison people like you can understand.
It's a very valid point.
Whoever has the best players in the highest league wins these. Usually, we're seeing here. This is a weird kind of year where Russia is beating Spain. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's a weird kind of thing when you have Russia in it at all. But Spain, I mean, obviously they had to be in it because
Spain had a couple good. Has a couple good players. PK, I think is the guy's name, and they always have the guys with the cool last names.
But I mean, back again with this, no one has any idea who's going to win this. Like there's really no standout.
Brazil is
Brazil
is the one big star.
Yeah, but there's no.
They're a huge favorite now.
I mean, they're literally the only big name still in it. I mean, all these other people are just jokes.
You still have England available in the draw.
That's not. Colombia's going to beat them, let's be real.
I wouldn't say that. They got the leading... England has the leading scorer. I think he's up there, I don't want to say his name wrong. I think it's Harry Kane. They have one of the best players, England. So I could see them getting by.
And then we're watching Ronaldo.
I'm a soccer guy, if you haven't noticed.
We're watching Ronaldo and
they're gone.
And Messi
They're home. They're
home.
back in Portugal.
We're watching them go home in the first round, and you're telling me some guy from England's gonna be the
Harry
savior.
Kane is legit.
Sounds like Harry Cox, something you
No,
like.
Harry Kane.
In your mouth.
He's really good, man. No, I don't swing that way. Sorry.
Yeah, bullshit.
But anyways, so that's going on, and if you look at the matchups going forward, I would lean towards Brazil winning the World Cup. You know, some people are saying Croatia could make a run toward the end, but I don't see it.
Well, I think
But
after
we'll see.
this shit's over, we can go back on to talking about things that matter.
Yeah.
It's soccer. But
Frank, I think we should just continue the sports train, and let's talk about the big news that everyone wants to talk about. LeBron James went to the Los Angeles Lakers on a family kind of explanation. Was that, you know, his family, I guess, what is it, his son that is going to a high school in Los Angeles, California, and, you know, he's making this seem like a family decision. This is what his mind
he's
is.
Full of shit.
Is he's saying that family? No, but this is the spin,
But
the media spin.
Right. But
he's saying that he's doing it for the family.
We already knew that he was going to go to LA, like you said, because his kid already had enrolled in the school.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time,
he enrolled. So people were like, "Yeah, there's no way he's not."
Right.
You know, he's getting older and everything.
Right. Well, the thing about LeBron, though, I mean, LeBron's no dummy. I mean, look at him. His personal financial advisor is the Oracle of Omaha. I mean,
well, here's the thing.
The dude is a genius.
Here's the thing. He's a genius, and if you look at the history, Frank, he can go to any team and drop and when he signs with a team,
they go to the finals.
Yeah, but people follow that night or the day after. You got good players, Frank, following him. So he could go to my favorite team, the Orlando Magic, and he would make them legitimate because people would follow. And, you know, they got Aaron Gordon. I'm just saying as an example. He could probably go to every team in the league and people would follow, and then he would make the playoffs. Any team. So it's the Lakers because he wants it to be the Lakers because he has family in LA, and he'll just make the Lakers good. Well, because you take the stars that they have and you add him, and they're a conference championship team.
Well,
you see what I'm saying, though?
They're not a conference championship team.
Yeah, they are.
They have to go past Golden State.
No, they can play them in the conference championship game. They can get by Houston. Chris Paul's getting old.
Houston.
James Harden's
a choke artist, but
you're just making my point.
But
I think that Lakers will beat Houston.
You said they can get a conference championship. They have to.
I'll specify.
They have to be
I'll specify. I could see the Lakers getting to the conference finals.
Okay, yeah, obviously, but I don't see them. I don't see them beating Golden
State. Well,
State.
definitely. Hey, I want to bring your boy Sam back on for our NBA preview next year. Well, you know, you think he'll do it?
Absolutely.
Okay, then we'll see what he thinks.
Actually, he'll be here in another month.
Mm.
He's gonna be here.
You think we can get him on the show again?
In 2 months, he'll be here.
You think we can get him on the show?
He will be here.
No, but you think we can get him on the show?
In my apartment.
Okay, well, we'll get him on the show,
right.
And then we'll do our basketball preview with him.
Okay.
If he'll do it.
Of course he'll do it. So anyway, though, the thing about it, they were saying that when LeBron left Cleveland, it cost like $500 million to the city.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine that one player, $500 million by him leaving?
All right, Frank. So I feel like I butted in there and made my opinion. So I want to give you the floor and let you talk about LeBron James joining the Lakers. Go.
So LeBron James joining the Lakers doesn't matter. If LeBron James wins a championship with the Lakers, I would be pissed as hell. And they'd be like, well, why? Well, because if I have to fucking see LeVar Ball on fucking ESPN talking about,
but
my son is awesome, I bring champions.
I saw your status. I saw your status.
Fuck that shit, man.
Let me rebuttal that.
Fuck that shit. Like, if I have to listen to LeVar Ball talk on ESPN, someone's getting swung on. Like, seriously, fuck you, LeBron. Like, I don't care that you go to every team in the NBA and win a goddamn NBA championship. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Do not make Lonzo Ball a champion because I don't want to listen to his fucking father on the fucking on fucking TV.
Can I rebuttal real quick? Did you
the
see
bars suck?
Did you see what happened in the news today? They signed Rajon Rondo. You know what? No, hold on. Let me finish. I'll let you talk for a little bit. Let me finish. You know why they signed Rajon Rondo, Frank?
To compete with Lonzo Ball.
No, he's hurt. They're afraid that he's. I mean, there's afraid of an injury. You know, he's battled injuries in his brief career here. You know, and they're afraid that he may get hurt and they won't have any backup. So what they're saying is they're going to bring Rajon Rondo in, and I guess they'll battle in camp. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen the latest.
That's what they said. They're going to battle in camp.
You know, and the bottom line is Rajon Rondo is going to put him to fucking school, bro. I think Rajon Rondo will get the starting gig, and I could see Lonzo being forced in sixth man, and that will really piss off LeVar. Well, if Lonzo comes off the bench,
I would love to see.
Which wouldn't be a bad idea.
I would love to see Lonzo come off the bench. I mean,
no,
Rondo in his prime. Rondo in his prime.
No, he's past his prime.
Lonzo couldn't keep up.
Past his prime. Rondo's old.
Lonzo could not keep up with Rondo in his prime. But
Rondo was out of the league until he came out of nowhere with like multiple teams that were out of it already. Didn't he play? I forgot where he played, but he just played recently with the Pelicans, and they swept the Blazers, which made me look like an idiot on the show. But anyways, that's a different story. So I mean, Rondo came out of nowhere, kind of. It's kind of smart on Rondo because even though he won a title already with the Celtics, he wants to win another one before he's done. So it's a brilliant idea from his agent.
Rondo's obviously way past his prime, but I mean, back in the day,
he's gonna get a ring.
If he was back in his prime, he would beat Lonzo, no problem. Mm-hmm. The fact that he's not in his prime, who knows what's gonna happen. But let's move on from sports and move on to actual news. So you see that the Democrats right now want to get rid of ICE, and you want to see, they're talking about, Democrats are the party of the people. Well, the Republicans want to get rid of the IRS. How many people have had problems with the IRS? Innocent people. Democrats want to get rid of ICE, which is putting illegal immigrants back to where the fuck they came from.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with this? Like, they're fucking idiots. They're morons.
Yeah. Well, the bottom line is, we'll see what happens, with everything going forward. But, all right, did you want to talk about what else? What else did you want to talk about?
Let's look at the market right now.
Mm-hmm.
The S&P, it's interesting because, obviously the market, the S&P went up. People are worried about these tax, what do they call them? The tariffs, right?
Right, the tariffs.
Because they're like,
tariff war?
It's going to hurt.
Or is it a tariff war or a trade war?
Trade war. But they're like, it's going to hurt, the American economy because, they're going to put tariffs. They've already put, they put 100% tariffs on us. They put 200% tariffs on us, 25% tariffs on us. Like, this stuff isn't going to hurt us. This stuff isn't gonna hurt. They've already been screwing us. It's like when someone's been raping you, and then you're like, I'm gonna rape you back, and then they're like, we'll rape you harder. It's like, you already been raping me. Fuck you. Yeah. So these tariff things, everyone knows that tariffs. Anyone that knows anything about economics knows tariffs are bad for the economy, and the consumer fucking suffers.
Right, because they add money and.
Right, but at the same time, he doesn't want to keep tariffs. Trump doesn't want to do tariffs. No one wants to do tariffs. Why are we doing tariffs then? The reason we're doing tariffs is
he doesn't want to, but he's implementing them. Like,
we're doing tariffs.
An oxymoron, dude.
We're doing tariffs because we're doing it as a game of chicken. We're saying who's stronger, the United States or Canada, the United States or China. We're gonna find out pretty soon. That's all he's doing. He's playing a game of chicken.
He's trying to flex our muscle.
Yep.
And seeing who blinks first.
And we already know who's gonna blink first. It's not gonna be the United States.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
That's like the one thing.
It won't last long. It won't last long. I mean, as soon as he said the word tariff, China's like, we'll buy more American goods.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and then they backtracked. It's all about flexing your muscle. He flexes his muscle a little bit. All the other countries will give in.
You just say he fucks his muscle? Is that what you said?
He'll flex his muscle a little bit.
Oh, flex.
The other countries will give in, and America will prosper.
All right.
The thing about the Trump administration is that America prospers, period.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you don't watch the show, Frank, but I want to mention the unfortunate passing of the old man on Pawn Stars. I feel like our listeners, everyone has seen that show. You have. I know you have. The Harrisons. And I feel like...
I thought that dude was on
even though he was old, and even though that whole show was staged, I feel like he... steered the ship of the show. Like, he provided the dry humor because Chumley was so over the top. I feel like the old man kind of, played the dry humor and played along with their jokes, but he kind of steered the ship of the show. And I think it's sad, but I guess they're saying that he passed away with all his family nearby, which is kind of nice to hear.
Well, he was the family, he was the family patriarch, so he's steering the ship. But to be honest with you, I thought he was on his deathbed the whole fucking time the show was going. Well, that dude didn't fucking move. That dude just sat in the chair and yelled at people. That dude was pretty much dead.
Well, if you were putting the money into it, I mean, you could do whatever the fuck you want. Where do you think the money came from, Frank?
I do whatever the fuck I want anyway.
Frank, where do you think the money came from? Him. Like,
I thought it came from, like, whoever was producing the TV show.
Well, yeah. Well, no. But what I'm saying is he's before the show started, I'm sure he funded, the startup of the shop, But the bottom line is the show's still going to keep going. They try to build off these characters and stuff, but I think it's still sad that he passed away and everything.
Well, I never understand this whole idea of it's sad when people die. Like, you live life, you celebrate people's life while they're alive. Yeah. They die and it's over.
Did you ever see the show?
Yeah, I've seen the show, but I'm just saying, like,
half the stuff they own already. I know. I hope this doesn't spoil it for people, but. I've heard that. I want to backtrack on my statement there.
Have you been to Vegas?
I want to backtrack on my statement there. But what I've heard, I want to specify this again. What I've heard is that some of the stuff, is questionable on whether the person bringing it in for the show.
It's a fucking TV show.
Actually owns it themselves.
It's a fucking TV show.
So,
what the hell do you think happens?
To just end my conversation there about it, I heard that he had a big service and everything, and I just want to send my condolences. So that's it for that. What else you want to talk about?
Anyway,
I said, what else you want to talk about?
So, let's talk about something else going on in the world. So back about the, I was talking about the tariffs before, and a lot of people have been talking about the tariffs. I don't know if anyone that listens to this invests. They were talking about how the technical stocks and the
let's talk about how
the internet stocks have been pretty much flat since Trump took office, and everyone's.
Let's talk about how much his 27-year-old assistant makes. I'm just kidding.
She makes six figures, so a lot more than you.
On MSN. No, but I'm just kidding.
But anyway, the thing about it is people are like, whoa, technology stocks and industrial, you're supposed to be able to rely on them forever for your portfolio. Listen, a few years ago they said you should be able to rely on real estate for the rest of your life. And then we had the Great Recession. The things people that drive me nuts, they want to blame everybody for everything. Right. Listen, times change, times evolve. Yes, okay. So the technical stocks they haven't performed. The industrial stocks, they haven't performed. The ones in the S&P, they haven't performed. That's fine. Mm-hmm. But the thing about investing is nothing's a sure fucking deal. Go find a better sector that's performing better, that's beaten up a little bit more, and this is going to be an industrial stock technically now. And people have been telling me I'm crazy about it. And I'm going to tell you, I think General Electric's a great investment right now, and it's a great long-term investment. Now, what Sean wants to talk about?
No, I know. Let me get my sentence out for this before you rebuttal, because you know what I'm about to talk about. Okay, so let me at least say a couple sentences before you respond to this. Can you do that for me?
Sure.
Okay, so it just came out, the Associated Press, not just came out, but there was an article that came out we're recording this on July 2nd, that Trump's former personal lawyer says he'll put family first. Now, there is rumors that he knows certain things that could put Trump legally in a bind here, with Stormy and everything. So what do you think about this article that came out?
No big deal. Do you know why I say that?
Explain.
Because
there's
they're
listeners
going to say things that, like, he paid, and as I told you earlier, it was off air, he has a retainer that he pays him, like, what, 30 grand every month?
I don't know, Frank.
He pays him, like, 30 grand or so every month.
Right.
In case one of these objects happen, he doesn't actually reimburse him for it. Mm-hmm. He pays him a certain amount every month, and one of these situations comes up where someone wants to talk that he had sex with 10 years ago. Then, then here you go, dude. You pay him off. I already gave you the money. And people are going to say, well, he did reimburse him. Well, technically, yes, he did physically reimburse him, but he didn't actually reimburse him for the action. He just kind of reimburses them ahead of time.
I just feel like it's shady anyways for this even to come out from a president. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I feel like the president shouldn't have even these issues coming out.
Listen. I was actually watching...
so you think it's okay for presidents to even have this stuff come out? I mean, it's kind of ridiculous.
I was watching...
Because if Obama or Clinton or Reagan, I mean, I'm sure they had their own issues, but if this stuff came out for them, I feel like this would even be more of a, issue than it is now.
So I was watching...
no, you're not. What are you going to say to that? You don't think that this is a big issue?
You're not going to let me talk, are you?
Okay, well, go ahead.
So I was watching, actually, a reruns of a classic TV show, Married with Children, the other day. And the wife answered the phone, and no one was there, and he goes... Mm-hmm. He goes, oh, listen. Oh, you missed it. The Trumps were calling me for dinner. That was in 1991 that aired.
Right.
How many presidents do you know they had a household name 20 years before they became president? At least 25 years before they became president. This dude has been in the news his entire life.
Right.
This dude's been in the news when your parents were kids. Like, I mean, this
Yours
dude,
too, bro.
Exactly. This dude has been...
Yeah. I hear you.
I mean, yeah, things are going to come up. If you go that long and things don't come up, then, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You must have lived in a fucking cave. I mean, the dude's been the center of power for a very long time. He's single-handedly told New York, the mayor, to fuck himself on an ice skating rink. He'll build it himself because because the government sucks so bad at it. I mean, the dude is just... He's a little bit of an egomaniac, but I mean, that's good. That's what America needs right now. We need a tough guy like that cares about what people think about him because he's going to fight for his image.
All right.
And the thing about Cohen flipping is Cohen can say whatever he wants. I don't think there's a lot of things that may be shady, maybe unethical that Trump has done, but I don't think you're going to find anything illegal.
All right, I want to talk about some news that's kind of incredible that just came out today as well, Frank. 12 kids that, a soccer team went into a cave in Thailand, and amazingly enough, after, 9 or 10 days, that they came out alive. And, it's the New York Times was like, on their headline, they were like, we are hungry. It's like, well, no crap, you're hungry. But that was just probably the draw of people. It says 13 people here were found safe. So I just want to give credit to everybody in the rescue, effort and stuff, because obviously, like I said, 12 soccer people, but obviously their coach made 13. So, it's amazing that they're still alive, as it was, it's been, what had happened in June, and they left their bikes chained at the entrance, and it was just supposed to be a couple-hour trip in the cave, and then they didn't come back. And so it was like another week, and then now they're back. So it's this amazing fact that they're still alive.
Right, and as far as the Times, what you said, that they said, oh, they're hungry. That's probably probably the only thing.
Of course.
That's probably the only thing they were actually thinking. To be honest with you, if you've ever been through a traumatic event, about a little over a decade ago, me and a few buddies, we rolled a van.
Right.
And I was bleeding actually profusely from my hands. You could still see the scars if you look at my hand. Mm-hmm. And, we were bleeding. We were all messed up. One of my buddies had a horrible concussion. Mm-hmm. And the only thing we said to the paramedics got there, and they said, what do you guys want? We're like, we want Chips Ahoy cookies. Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you go through a traumatic event.
Right.
You only think about, okay, I'm hungry or this or that.
No, I hear you.
Because you don't actually think about what actually happened. And that's probably what happened with them.
Yeah. Well, it says here that it was in northern Thailand in the, I don't want to say this wrong. I hope for those who are familiar with this, I don't want to butcher the cave, but I'm going to give it effort here. A Tham Luang Nong Non cave. It's just amazing that they're still alive. Just a blessing from God. So, I just wanted to give that credit to the people who rescued them. So that's a feel good story from all the crap that goes on.
So did you see what Cuomo's going to do in New York State?
No.
So their taxes are already high. Shit, I know some places where they're like 52% of the people pay 100% of the taxes. It's retarded. Mm-hmm. So anyway, you know what Cuomo did?
What?
He gave $11 million. I think he gave $11 million to people in Puerto Rico that want to come to New York. They already can't afford shit. New York State can't afford shit. They're broke as fuck. And he's giving money away.
Yeah, well, It happens.
These poor people in New York are gonna freaking be crippled.
Yeah.
By Cuomo's crazy ass. Honestly, your penis should be able to run against governor against Cuomo and win. That's how bad he is. It's
that's
amazing.
funny.
It's amazing.
That's funny.
You see, our governor actually.
Scott?
Yeah, he's actually running for Senate.
Oh, really? I didn't hear about that.
So yeah, so we're gonna have a new governor soon. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Considering he bought his way into the governorship.
He didn't do a bad job. You can't say he did a bad job.
No. I was pleasantly surprised. I wasn't in Florida at the time to vote for him, but I probably would have. But
he's not doing a bad job.
Yeah, no, he's representing, his party in a quality manner. So we'll see what happens with this. I wouldn't be totally against it. It's just sometimes politics in Florida is a little sketchy, but we'll see what happens.
Everything in Florida is pretty sketchy.
Yeah.
I think it's
anything crazy seems to be from Florida.
I think because you got too many New Yorkers coming from New York down to Florida. I think that's where the sketchy comes from. You
included?
I'm actually pretty much. I'm like a saint, pretty much. It's pretty much what it is.
Well, let's just get to our sensible and cynical thoughts, shall we?
Sure.
Okay, so Frank, you want to go first?
Nope.
Okay. Do you want me to go? Okay, I'll go first. I just think that I'm cynical on, multiple things. The first thing I'm cynical about is that people are just, down on everything going on politically, and they don't give. Now, I know you'll like this, Frank. I don't want you to get too much of a hard on what I'm about to say.
I already know what you're going to say, and I got a chubby already.
No, but I feel like...
Put it in your mouth.
I feel like
right in your mouth.
I feel like Trump should get a little, give a little rope, kind of...
I think I just came.
A leeway...
I think I just came.
On certain things, going on with the border and everything.
Oh, yeah, baby!
And I feel like since he signed that... what did he sign? To let them come back, reunite? I know that was an issue, but I just feel like people should maybe give him a little more credit on getting us more stern with our allies.
So what happened was they were going to try to pass a bill on the whole thing, and Chuck Schumer's side, the president could do this if he really wanted to. So do you know what the president did?
You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish my thought.
He signed a bill. He signed a bill to say this is how it's going to go, and it's like, yo, fuck you, Chuck. You're mean.
Here's my... Let me finish my thought. Can I finish my thought?
Hold on, let me just say this. Nancy Pelosi, they think she's going to lose the leadership now if the House got the majority of Democrats. That's how freaking weak they are.
Well, you may not like this. I'm going to flip the coin a little bit on Trump.
Oh, that's right. I already came.
All right. Well, I feel like Trump could do a lot better on, I guess people get worried, and I feel like he doesn't... He's kind of like you, Frank. He doesn't really show much emotion.
I have a lot of emotion.
So I feel like he needs to...
Sometimes I get angry. Sometimes I get horny. I mean, I got a lot of emotion.
He needs to do a better job. I know he doesn't like when people aren't with him on certain things, But I feel like he should do a better job of... I know he shouldn't people that didn't vote for him and that are, don't like him. I feel like he, is like, screw it. I'm not going to get them to come back. Or, to... follow me, what I'm trying to say, not follow me, but to, support me and everything I do. But I feel like sometimes he's a little bit of a hard ass. Like, he could be a little more, I know you're not emotional, but you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I feel like some stuff he does is kind of like, whoa, bro. Like, chill out. And that's why I think people don't like him, because he doesn't think about things like the ramifications on stuff, like, socially. It's like, whoa, you're going to do this? You're going to alienate, like, half the population. But it may in his mind, in his party's mind, it may be good in the long run. But like socially, some of the stuff he does is sketchy at best. And that's the other kind of the cynical, is I'm cynical toward, the ramifications that the decisions he makes. Even though I support the president, I'm reverent toward our president of the United States. Like I will always be, have some sort of respect. Sometimes I think he lacks respect toward the American people. So, that's just my opinion on cynicism on both sides of the coin. I feel like he needs to work on things, and I feel like people need to give him a little more credit on the things he does well. So that's my thoughts for the episode.
So, I'm going to be in this, I'm going to be sensible. Obviously, I think the world under Trump's a better place. Yes, he doesn't care about people's emotions, but that's because it doesn't really matter when you're getting results, and he's getting results, and it's better for the American people. So, soccer, as far as soccer, I mean, it's a gay thing we have to deal with. We'll deal with it. It'll be over. Thank God.
Soccer's a clinical sport, man. A lot of thinking and stuff. I don't know. I think that's the reason why you don't like it is because it's a lot of tactics. Like, has math to do with it. Like, angles, like when to pass.
Did you play soccer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it. So anyway.
No, but even though it's low scoring, I think it is. I think it's pretty awesome
it's
at
very
times.
pussy-ish.
What about when a cross comes from the corner and it hits the goalpost? There's drama in that.
Oh,
it hits the post.
Drama. I watch fucking Lifetime.
Oh, it hits the post in the 90th minute.
Yeah, and then no one else ever scored.
In stoppage time.
Oh, look, I ran by you. Oh, look, you flopped.
In the 95th minute. I mean, stuff like that's awesome, though. It's like an eventful overtime.
They flop worse than soccer.
But they got 6 minutes to tie the game, and sometimes in the 98th minute, they score. It's drama. There's a lot of drama. You got to give it credit. There's drama.
They flop worse than soccer than LeBron does.
You can't say there's not drama in the sport.
As far as the way the market goes and everything else, I think that's gonna come back. Obviously, it's gonna come back. Mm-hmm. As far as tariffs, those will go away. Obviously, once all the other countries decide to play fair. I mean, really, I think I can't again speak and how positively the outlook of this country is. It's just it brings tears to my eyes just to talk about how beautiful the outcome is, and I just
I'll rebuttal and saying Trump needs to do a lot better socially.
I can't talk about news without talking about how beautiful the outlook in this country goes, and it's a beautiful thing. There's so many opportunities.
Subscribe, rate, and review us on iTunes. And Frank, is there anything else you want to talk about this evening?
The only thing I want to say is soccer's not a real sport, and you can't justify it.
Okay.
It's a gay orgy.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and take care.